What's going on, guys? It's your boy John the Liquidator coming back with another video, and it looked like Breanna Stewart is in serious hot water. Guys, for this one here, we got to go all the way up to Indy. Let's get it. Let's go. Well, I know you guys is wondering, why do we have to come to Indianapolis for this specific video, even though it's involving Breanna Stewart? That is because CBA meetings took place yesterday in Indianapolis for the All-Star game. And I'm here to tell you, Unrivaled ain't looking so unrivaled, bro. It's looking real spooky in their department, dog. That is because none other than their CEO, Alex Bezos, went on a complete media run yesterday, and Breanna Stewart made some shocking comments on ESPN. So, if you guys don't know, Breanna Stewart is on the board with the whole WBPA alongside of her friend Nafisa Collier. Now, both of these women is over the Unrivaled League. Now, we all remember this tweet right here from a couple weeks ago that is in regards to Nafisa Collier. Let's pull it up right now. So, this is the tweet that kind of, pretty much made everybody's spider senses tingle. That is because this tweet right here stated, right? So let me get this straight. Breanna Stewart is WPA president, which she ain't the president, she's the vice president, but that's neither here or there. They co-founded the Unrivaled League that benefits. If there's a WNBA lockout and they're the ones leading the CBA negotiations, how do you negotiate in good faith? Make it make sense. And obviously, there they are down there, bro. Now, I am here to tell you, Nafisa Collier quickly responded to this, and she said, so let me get this straight. While everyone else was enjoying fireworks, you was thinking about how me and Stewie, all of us people are conspiring to force a lockout that will result in less money or year round for WNBA players. And yes, I kind of agree with that, bro. Now, let's fast forward until today. So this right here was released yesterday, right? This stated WNBA statements following the union's person CBA meeting with the league this afternoon, obtained by Front Office Sports. More than 40 players attended the meeting. Damn. Now, WBPA statement regarding the CBA meeting in Indianapolis. That's why we had to go to Indy, because this meeting took place, y'all can see there, January 17th. Now, we're not going to read this whole thing. I'm going to skim through it. So earlier today, it was the Women's National Basketball Players Association and the women's basketball, along WBPA staff and our CBA advisors, team of more than 40 players, including all-star executive committee members and players represented, attended this meeting. The WNBA response in our proposal fails to address priorities were voiced from the day we opted out, a transformational CBA that delivers our rightful share of the business that would be built, improve working conditions, and ensures the success we create. Now, it's not completed. We are committed to fight. We are committed to returning to the negotiation table, and we will not stop until we achieve this thing. So basically, man, the meeting was for nothing. They didn't get nothing accomplished, and people are criticizing this meeting, and it's looking more like a WNBA lockout. It's currently on the way, dog. Now, let's fast forward to this. Now, this right here was Breanna Stewart's statement. She stated, it's not a conflict of interest. Now, y'all remember that tweet, right? For everybody saying it's a conflict of interest, bro. Stewie told ESPN, she stated, I think it's just a little bit different. The things we can take from Unrivaled are the TV deal and how huge and incredibly that was, but also the numbers behind it, like having 3 games per week. People was constantly paying attention to it, whether it's Fee or me or someone else at Unrivaled. We understand that's the standard now. That's what we expected when we came back to the W. So basically, she's trying to say that it's not a conflict of interest. Now, fast forward here, because y'all, we bouncing around like a basketball. Now, this, my friends, was Nafisa Collier, her husband, speaking to the media yesterday. He said Unrivaled co-founder Alex Bezos on whether there's a conflict of interest. So this is what he had to say. Listen to this.
It's funny, we've laughed about it because we've never once looked at this as a competitive tool towards the WNBA. I think there's so many positives from us both being in existence. I tell people all the time, the WNBA continue to grow and thrive helps our league, right? I would be lying if part of this, we came in at a great time of the growth of women's basketball, and the WNBA has been building professional women's basketball for now close to 30 years. So I think you have to understand how both parties help one another. I'm hopeful that they come to a CBA agreement and, play resumes next April. And, for us, we're not going to change anything we do based on what happens in those conversations. So the conflict of interest has never really made sense internally. And I think when you think about what this league's done, it's not only helped create more of an income outlet for players, but it's also built their brands, and it's also created more opportunities for players who have never gotten the opportunity. I think you see it in other leagues. We've kind of raised the bar in terms of resources and pay that usually these players who played in our leagues have traditionally been in EuroLeague or been in China or not played at all. But now those spots are opening up, so more players are making that income and being able to grow their games and grow their footprint too. So I just see ourselves as such an additive to the space that it's always confused us why people would think it's a conflict of interest. If anything, there's no one who's more equipped to sit at that table than Nafisa or than Breanna, because they've been through all the negotiations of media rights and sponsorships. We have teams that we may sell, we may not sell. Like, we know what goes on in the thought process and think about the league and where revenue comes from. So I think it's just, they're educated, right? They're as educated as probably any player has ever been in this position in terms of the CBA. And I think that's probably what they bring more than anything. But that's why, my job is to continue to build that bridge towards the WNBA and towards team owners, because, they've been so supportive for us as we built this thing from the ground up. From Kathy to the front office of the WNBA to team owners, like, I've had these conversations, and just to make sure they know where we're coming from, what we're trying to accomplish. And hopefully you can see a little bit more formal bridge, but I think they have some things they have to get through first before we have any of those.
So that was Nafisa Collier, her husband, speaking about it, and he's really going to bat for his wife, bro. He truly is. I'll give him that, bro. He is really showing up and showing out for her. It's just crazy, man. It is real crazy that this is where we're at, bro. With this whole situation, is that now we're at a place to where people are paying attention. See, at first, wasn't nobody really paying attention to all this. You know what I'm saying? But now we is. So now they're trying to cover their butts. But at the end of the day, they're trying to grow this league. That is the Unrivaled League, bro. And to me, it's definitely a conflict of interest. If both of them is on the board and both of them owns Unrivaled League, they're the biggest spokespeople for that set league. I don't think y'all should be able to negotiate anything dealing with the WCBA agreement, bro, because a lockout, me personally, will definitely benefit y'all, dog. Guys, we get down in the comment section right now. Let me know y'all thoughts about this, man. Keep them bells on, because I'm going to bring you the news. Till next time, man, shake the haters off. I'm out of here, bro. Peace out.